Good evening, traders. Hope you guys having a great day. Today we're gonna go over ticker symbol NFlx. NFlx. A lot of questions on this one. A lot of speculations and where the stock is going. I have no idea. Okay, but I've made several videos on NFlx, and we're gonna go over it one more time because it just had earnings. It just split 7-1. All of these events in the last 2 days. All right, if you've been following, you know this is what's been going on. So as you see, the chart is already everything's changed over, but now we could take a look at NFlx. All right, I'm gonna do NFlx from the 2 days ago. Ready? Let me just this is a day chart. So this is the last 3 days of what I really want to focus on: Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which is today, which is this day right here. After earnings, it popped up all the way to 109. It pulled all the way back down, but the stock did close at around $98. What is this? 98 at 98.13. The stock closed that. But let's go with the technicals on NFlx, right? NFlx. I'm gonna go from this high right here. Yeah, let's put some Fibonacci's on here instead. We're gonna play this in a retracement. Before I talk about common sense, because common sense right now just not kicking in. My only common sense is that price pull back nicely from these highs into here, okay, and then it started making its way up, and it made a new high here. All right, so what do I expect? I expect this pullback to somewhere down here, and for this action to continue up here. That's what I'm expecting. All right, as you can see down here, momentum is to the downside, MACD's to the downside. This momentum right here, MACD's to the downside. So even though it crossed over, it's still pointing down. So I have to wait to see how this is gonna play out, even though I started buying into NFlx right here on after earnings. All right, so let's technically look at NFlx right here. I'm gonna go into the 4-hour chart to see if I can get a better picture of what I'm looking for. All right, let's take it from here. This is nice right here into the 1-hour chart. So I'm gonna look at this high right here, and I'm not even gonna go that far in. Okay, this is, since everything just happened right now, I'm gonna put this right here off of this moving average right here. So you see this stagnation right here, a lot of fighting right here, where they try to push it back down, and this is where the pullbacks kept on coming to this price level right here. All right, so what am I looking at in NFlx right now? Okay, I look at overall, the stock been on a big run, okay, from April to now, big moves. If I go back even further from here, but I don't want to confuse everybody, because it was, you know, trading at $400-500 at that time. So let's not even confuse everybody. So I'm gonna keep it very simple. So let's look at the tail we're trying to look at. All right, I drew my fibs right here because there's a lot of buyers that came in at this level right here, right off this 50-day moving average, as you can see here, again here, again here. So this is at least 3 times that it came to these price levels right here. All right, at least 3 times that it's come into this near this 91.43. all right, so when you look at NFlx and how the chart is going in a 1-hour chart, we can see right here, all right, it lift off of this 50-day moving average and had a nice pullback. All right, see this green candle right here, this is earnings right here, all right, which just happened today. Earnings, normally I personally don't like to play earnings, you know, unless I'm sure of a company and I'm going just by common sense, not because I know anything or that the other person doesn't know. All right, but sometimes, you know, during the 3-month period before earnings, you have to remember how many times, you know, they had news, how many times they had the type of news that, you know, what type of news they had. Because I remember NFlx had a few news of going into other countries and getting more subscribers. So that's what I remember with NFlx. So on this earnings right here, we're gonna wait to see what happens, even though I started buying at the $97 level. All right, $97 level is down here. All right, exactly what I talked about before. You know, another video. As you can see right here, when you look at where price came, all right, this was the high. It pushed back down, and the high was 102. All right, this was the high right here. So price had to come back and retest this high right here. So with the split happening 7-to-1, as you can see down here on my screen, 7-to-1 split happened right here, and then a day later you have earnings happening right here. Okay, so even though it pulled back into here, boom, price came back up here. So my play is for tomorrow. How is price gonna play out tomorrow? All right, tomorrow Thursday, which is here, it's what's gonna happen here. So what do I expect to happen Thursday? From looking at what I'm looking at on my chart, my MACD is still to the upside. I have my momentum with this earnings right here, popped it up to the upside, right? But if we didn't have earnings, if this earning wasn't here, all right, you can see from here my momentum is already been to the upside for a few days now, riding this wave since a week ago. All right, about a week ago, you can see this wave started happening. So what would I normally expect? For this to come crossing down here back to the zero line, play to the downside, and then come back up. All right, and what confirms that is also the MACD histogram. If you look at the MACD histogram right here, it was green and it's going less green, less green, less green. Another bar down, it would have been to the red side, to the downside right here. All right, but because of this earnings right here, the stock actually popped up. And this is a 4-hour chart. So this is the first half of the day, this is the second half of the day. So the first half of the day, as you can see, this was the overnight. As you can see here, it popped up, and then this is the other half of the day. All right, whatever the case is, the high for NFlx right now is 109. All right, so we gotta wait tomorrow to see when they open. Or they're gonna open on the high side, because if they do, then you know I'm gonna look to dump my shares. I mentioned that before. The couple of shares that I bought, I'm going to look to dump, and I'm going to look to buy in later on as the price come collapsing back down. So what do I expect price to come back down to? Back down here to this $98 level here. All right, if it can hold here, all right, then you know we buy more in and we stay in the stock. But right here, the MACD, not saying that it can't continue on. As you can see, it's making these green bars right here. So we have to see if this can continue tomorrow, or if this was just a fake out because of the earnings right here, or they're gonna bring this down lower. And this is the zero line that I have. It's $91.43 is what I was anticipating if they start to push it down. That's what I said before. When they start to push it down from where they split, from where the split happened, how far down are they gonna go? All right. So if you've been, you know, watching my videos, I went into very details, and I'm going into a lot of details right now into this video, which is already 8 minutes long already. So looking at you know, a 1-hour chart right here, and I'm gonna go from day to day. And the same thing, I can go the same thing with this. How did I know the market was gonna pull back today? Looking at it from here, this is last Wednesday, Thursday. See, from last Thursday right here, as you can see, price started picking up. All right, right here, price crossed over this 20-day moving average, and the split happened right here. 7-to-1 split happened, and even though you didn't see the volume coming in, you don't see the volume coming in. It's to the downside, but eventually you're gonna see the volume coming in. All right, but as price crossed down over here, coming to the 200 this 200-day moving average right here, and it's just so funny to me that, you know, as price crossed down all the way, price come all the way crossing down for no apparent reason after 7-to-1 split, come all the way crashing down to here perfectly on this 200-day moving average. This is, you know, certain things you can't you can't draw up. This is exactly how they did it, and you know, me looking at this playbook right here, I can see exactly where this play is expected to go. So that's why I said when you look at this on the 1-hour chart, this is the high. They came back and retest the high, but they never quite took out the 109. So that's why I said tomorrow I got to see if it's going to go sideways right here, and then they're going to pull it back down to this 102. Maybe it come crashing down to this 38 0.2 fib retracement right here, which is going to be at the $98 level. Or maybe they might fake everybody out and bring it down lower, just a little bit past the 200-day moving average. Who knows? But like I said, I'm playing it carefully. But on my technicals, on the technical basis right here, my MACD has just reloaded due to this earning right here. Again, due to earnings, my MACD has reloaded. It was coming down to the downside, but it reloaded right here. Momentum is to the upside right here. So on the hourly chart, you see a lot more. You see what's coming in. All right, the bigger picture is on the daily chart. All right, but on the hourly chart right here, you can see we're just waiting for price to come back into this price zone right here, inside this box. All right, price come into this box, and I'm looking to really load up on NFlx. All right, going to a day chart. So before I exit this video, going to the day chart, what I was saying before on the day chart is you see a bigger picture on the day chart. I'm gonna leave this first fib retracement there, and then I'm gonna do this one right here. So if I put a bigger fib retracement here off this 200-day moving average, all right, I can go back down to this earning, but I'm not going to. As you can see, I'm going to the last earning that was right here. My last earning that happened right here, you can see price popped up into this area right here, and it never pulled back, and just kept on going up, kept on going up. So now even on a bigger time frame, if price start to go sideways here and it can't hold this 50-day moving average, all right, hey, we're looking for right here this $75 level. Between $75 and $85 is where you load the mother load right here, because it has to turn around somewhere. So if price could come crashing down right here, I'm definitely a big buyer right here at NFlx. All right, so those of you who's been watching me, following me, sending me the emails, keep sending me the emails and the questions. Investors, please, if you're looking to work with me, send me the email at the number 3, the letter D, consult me at Gmail. Peace.